To rebuild a Gator, some basic tools and supplies are required. An assembly fixture, a chain strap wrench, O-ring installation and removal tools, a utility knife, and silicone lube. Do not use a petroleum-based lubricant such as Vaseline that will cause O-rings to swell and deteriorate. The assembly fixture may be mounted in a workbench vise, or it can be bolted down or clamped to a workbench. If an assembly fixture is not available, a 2-inch iron female thread pipe adapter held in a vise can be used to hold the Gator while it is being worked on. Now first remove the pump cartridge. And unsnap the quick clip piston. Remove the pressure hose at the pump body and motor body connections. Remove the pump body by pushing it up into the bottom cap about 1/8 inch. Turn 1/4 turn and pull straight out. Place the Gator outlet into the assembly fixture. The outlet is the long side with the pressure tube fitting. Be sure that the fixture is completely into the outlet at all times. It is easy to crack the outlet during some of the operations when pressure is applied, if the fixture is not all the way into the outlet. Remove the motor bottom cap with the chain wrench. Support the Gator with one hand as the wrench is turned, keeping the fixture completely into the outlet while turning. Depending on how long the Gator has been in service, a great amount of pressure may be needed to remove the cap. Remove the cap sealing O-ring. Turn the Gator over and use the chain wrench to remove the top cap. Now remove the pressure ring and the cap sealing O-ring. Remove the 2 tension spring bands. Now pull the motor piston up so the pivot pin that holds the valves in place is at the top of the stroke. Take the O-ring removal tool and pry off the split retaining washer on the pin and remove the spacer washer. Now remove the pin along with the spacer and retaining washer on the other end by pulling it straight out and not at an angle. Remove the 2 stops. Now use one hand to push out the motor piston cylinder assembly module, catching it with the other hand. Now turn the Gator over and use the O-ring removal tool to remove the O-ring on the exhaust valve. Be careful not to scratch the plastic sealing surfaces. Remove the valve module and seat from the top side of the unit. Turn the Gator over and push the valve seat out of the bottom side of the unit. This completes the disassembly of the Gator. If the Gator is to be rebuilt, then the intake exhaust valve module will need to be inspected to see if there is excessive wear. If the holes in the arms are worn oblong, as shown here, then the valve assembly will need to be replaced. If the holes are not worn, then only the O-rings need to be replaced, and the Gator can be rebuilt with a seal kit. To replace the seals on the valves, use the utility knife to remove the split washers holding the intake and exhaust valves onto the actuator plate. Use the O-ring removal tool to remove the O-rings from the intake and exhaust valve. Be careful not to scratch the plastic sealing surfaces. Now install new O-ring seals onto the intake valve and one side of the exhaust valve. Reassemble the valves onto the actuator plate using the split washers. Note the orientation of the valve seat plate with the exhaust valve. Be sure that the split washers are securely in the retaining grooves. The valve module is now rebuilt and ready for assembly in the Gator. If the Gator motor piston cylinder is not scratched, then the motor piston module can be rebuilt by simply replacing the sealing piston rings. First, remove the rings with the O-ring removal tool. Be careful not to scratch the sealing surfaces. Apply silicone lubricant to the new rings. Install the new rings onto the pump piston. Note the orientation of the seal with the direction of the piston movement. One seal faces one way and the other seal faces the other way. Make sure that the rings are uniformly in the piston grooves. Apply silicone lubricant to the inside of the motor cylinder and the sealing O-ring. Put the sealing O-ring on the cylinder. Now very carefully guide the motor piston into the cylinder with a slight twisting motion. The seals can be pinched and ruined during this operation if it is not done carefully. Push the piston up and down in the cylinder several times. The Gator is now ready for reassembly.